Good morning, everyone. This is our total body workout class. So this morning we'll be working out, burning some calories. We'll get a warm up in. It's been 2 weeks since we last met with this course. And then we have this session and then more. So after I believe the 12th of the month, um, or whatever it is, 2 weeks from now. That's our last session for this one. And then we transition into our, I believe it's strength and conditioning, which should be fairly similar. Only difference is here we maybe have a tad of cardio, and we'll just focus on the lifting part for that course. But other than that, no real changes. Just for the summer, like I mentioned, there's going to be, instead of our after the spring, I believe moving forward, these classes will be assigned 1 hour for 2 days instead of 1 day for 2 hours. It's going to be assigned 2 days for 1 hour. So still, the software shows 2 hours for each session. Probably goes a little bit over on the 1 hour mark, and then yeah, it's quite a bit of physical activity to get done in 2 hours. Now, so we could get a little bit more activity throughout the week, we're gonna have two sessions for 1 hour for two classes. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We'll have one class on Monday, Wednesday from 9 to 10, and then the second class will be Monday, Wednesday from 10 to 11. And that second class will technically or typically be the the less taxing one, the stretching or something, less aggressive. So that's what it's going to look like moving forward, I believe, after the summer. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with the warm up. So, I'm going to start my fitness tracker here. So, just looking left to right. Hopefully, everyone's feeling well this morning. Up and down. Whew. Gonna take it a bit chill this week with my training. I have my race this Saturday, so hopefully it all goes well. We'll see. Let's do neck circles. We were driving out to Ventura on Friday, and we could see all the mountains out there where the race will be, just full of snow. So I'm pretty sure it looks like the next few days, it's just warm weather switch. So hopefully that thaws any snow out from the course. Hopefully it dries it out too, because then it gets really muddy as well. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and just bring that arm over. We haven't had this session in 2 weeks, so let's just hopefully this isn't your first workout in 2 weeks. Stretching here. Morning, Jen. Hey, Mary. Got Teresa, Sir Ahmed, Miss Noor, Debbie. Hi, Nelly. Hi, Kathleen. Switch. Hey, Doris. Hey, Ella. Still Snow Angels? Julian turns 4 on Friday already. Kid's big. I think he gained 28 pounds in his first 10 months. And the last 3 years, he's only gained 10 pounds. So he was a big baby when we first had him that first year. He's pretty tall for his age. Okay, let's do single arm windmills. Good morning, Lisa. Go in reverse. And switch. Go in reverse. Very good. Let's go trunk rotation. So just gentle left to right. Hey, Josephine. Back is tight. Let's do big. Uh, here. Back straight. Make sure you're breathing nice and comfortable. All right, big hula hoops. The giant hip circles. Just exaggerate the motion in each direction. All right, switch. Very good. Let's go ahead and do a quad stretch. So grab a hold of the table if you need some assistance, but just grab right above your ankle and pull back. Then switch. Hamstring stretch. So slide bend at your knees. Grab a hold of your ankles, come down, drop your hips, and then bring your hips back up. Two more. And then our last one is our deep squat stretch. Okay. So just drop down. Bring your hips as low as you can. And just shift left to right. And rise. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our light dumbbells, grab your yoga mat. Okay, we got a little workout right now. So go ahead and grab those items, your water. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go with an old school workout, one that we used to do a while back, but it does incorporate some cardio, a little bit of core as well. So we'll have that today. Okay. So all right, so the first set is gonna be 5 movements, okay, and we're gonna do 2 rounds of 10 sets each, okay. So we have oblique twist punch, so that's gonna be here, oblique crunch, okay, that's our first movement. Then we're gonna go with butt kickers, so just heels to glutes. If that seems a little bit easy enough for you, then I want you to do it in a running motion. Okay, so, but again, you could always just alternate heels to glutes. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and do a static lunges. So static lunge just means we're gonna stay in place and we're gonna go up and down. Okay, so 10 on each leg for that one. Then we have the box set step. So that's like if you're with me a while long ago, you remember these. So it's like if you're going down an escalator. So just imagine yourself going lower and lower with each step, and then when you reverse, you come higher and higher. So you're gonna feel that right on your quad. So each step forward, you're coming down. Each step back, you're coming back up. Okay. And our final one is gonna be a plank roll. So we're gonna be on the floor and do a plank motion. Okay, so we do need our yoga mats for this one. Okay. No dumbbells quite yet on this workout. So yeah. We'll start this with the oblique crunch. And we're gonna do 10 on each side. Okay. So if we're ready, we're here. 3, 2, 1. Go. So elbow to knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, in between, we're taking about 20 to 30 seconds rest. Remember, next is our butt kickers. So you could just do heels to glutes. You could go heels to opposite glutes if you like, or you could just go running motion, heels to glutes. 10 more seconds. Heart rate's definitely going to be a little bit higher with these. 3, 2, 1, go. 30 seconds. Again, just heels to glutes. We're at 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. You catch your breath. 30 seconds. That one's going to take your breath away a little bit more. So we have our static lunges. Static lunges next. Remember, static lunge, you're standing, have like a halfway split here. And then you're just gonna be in a comfortable position, go down and up. Okay, so give me 10 of those. 3, 2, 1, go. Just up and down. Go as low as you can. We're going to switch. And go ahead when you're ready. Switch.
Did you notice the lunges that the curling athletes do on the Olympics?
No, as they're sliding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine, yeah, lunging and then, oh, feel that. Yeah, they probably have big quads.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So the next one's the fun one, the one where you act like you're a little kid at the mall again. So this one again, you're standing here, and then each step forward, you're kind of dropping your hips, and then each step back, you're coming back up. Okay. So you'll feel it by like the first or the second little shuffle forward. It doesn't take long until you start feeling it. And you're only gonna go about 3 or 4 shuffles forward, okay? It's not very far, but we do want to start dropping our hips with every step. Ready? Okay, go. So, and you might even drop your hips low enough on that first step where you're like, okay, I can't go any lower. I'm just gonna go back. And that's fine. As long as you're feeling that burn right over your knees. Okay, and remember, it's 10 of these. Yeah, and if you feel like you don't understand what I'm doing, just bring your hips low with each step and then just come back up. So just imagine dropping your hips low, 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 and then back up. Because then all that weight is transferring to the part of your muscle right above your knees into your thighs. Let's do 2 more. One set step. Last one. All right. Is anyone feeling it? I feel it right there, right in that area. So, you good, Jen? You feel it? Okay, yeah. Who else? All right. Teresa? Yeah. It doesn't, it seems like a little kid's like, funny walk, but it gets you like no other. So, all right, let's go ahead and grab our dumbbells. I'm gonna switch to plank roll. Save that for another set where we're on the floor a little bit more. So grab your dumbbells. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and do our Poliquin lateral raise. Okay, so remember this one is going to be our hammer curl. Rotate the shoulders out and extend. If you could do 8 of these, great. If you can't do the combined movement together, just do some hammer curls first, do 8 of these, and then do 8 lateral raises. Okay, so if it gets challenging for you, because this compound movement, got 2 more. All right. All right. This is where we get our 1 minute to 90 seconds rest. Okay. So I need your feedback on this one. Do we want to do the second round now, or do we want to go through all of them and then do a second round of everything together in a big giant circuit. Any, we
I
care?
like, I like all, and then at the end, go back.
How did I know Carmen was gonna speak up? Hi, Carmen. No, I remember that's your favorite though in the whole. Yeah.
Yes.
Keeps it less boring. It could get repetitive. Yeah, that's good. So we still have about 40 seconds. Thanks, Carmen.
No problem, anytime.
All right, so our next one we have power jacks. So power jacks we haven't done in a while. So power jacks like a jumping jack, but with squats incorporated. So you're gonna drop low and you're gonna go out and in. Okay, if that's too much, then just give me regular jumping jacks. Okay. After that, we have either you could do dips on the chair for your triceps, or you could do dumbbell overhead tricep extensions. Anything that really works out the triceps, you could do a tricep kickback, whatever it is. Any of those three, we just want to get the triceps activated. We got more lunges. Now we have three-way lunges. Okay, so this is gonna be, we're doing 5 on each leg. Okay, but one takes very long. So three-way lunge is gonna be right leg forward, right leg to the side, and right leg back. So 3 ways, and that's 1 for that leg. And then we gotta do that for the other leg, and that's 1 for both legs. So we're doing 5 total combined. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and do what do we have here? We're gonna do our underhand dumbbell front raises. Okay, so working on our shoulders and our pecs a little bit. That's with your dumbbells, with your hands facing forward, and we're doing that one as our finisher. Okay. All right, so power jacks. We're gonna go for 12 to 15. Whenever we're ready, let's go ahead. Okay, so we're here. Ready? Okay, go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! Those quads. You're gonna feel those. All right, so this is where we go with our dips, with our triceps. So I'm gonna go with dips. I feel like I really feel it when I do it with dips. Again, dips, anything for your triceps. So this one, this variation, and again, just do it if it's safe and if you're comfortable doing it. But for this one, I would just go up and down. But remember, you could do overhead or the tricep kickbacks, okay? So regardless, give me a total of between 12 to 15 total, okay? All right. Ready? Whenever you're ready, go ahead and begin. So 12 to 15 total. Ooh. Very good. Take a little bit of rest. And now it's our longer one, our three-way lunges. So for this one, give yourself plenty of space because you need enough room for a lunge forward, sideways, and backwards. Okay, so we'll do one leg and then do the next leg. So we'll alternate, okay? So we don't fatigue one leg completely. Right, so if you're following along, remember we're going forward, lateral, and then back. Ready, and begin. So lunge forward, one. And then the sideways, you kind of want to drop your hips below your knee and behind your knee, back. And then we're switching. So left, drop, back. So that's one total. We're doing 5. Give yourself plenty of space. It's 2. As Julian says, these take forever. These do take forever. Anytime he can't be patient and he's just wants something to hurry up, that's all I hear in the back. You're taking forever, Daddy. Almost there. Keep it going. I'm almost done with my 4th one. It's 4.
His birthday's this week, right?
On Friday. Yep.
Party time.
Oh man. Yeah, we took him to Monster Jam on Saturday, and he was a fan. And then yeah, I just think after 40 minutes, anything, it could be the most exciting thing in the world. After 40 minutes, yeah. He was like, can we do something else? Can we go meet the drivers? He did not want to watch the show. So, all right. And then our underhand front raises. So I'll go see if I could go catch him right now after this next set. All right, here we go. Underhand front raise, 12 to 15. Ready and begin. So right here, palms are facing forward. Bring your dumbbells to your shoulder height. Good. 12 to 15. All right. So we have our 90 seconds rest. Maybe I'll get them after. Okay. So we have our bent over rows next. So that's when we're here. Back is nice and straight. And we're bent over and doing the rows for our back. If you need some support, you could always lean on a table. Just make sure your back is nice and straight. You don't want it curved. Okay. Then we have regular bicep curls. Okay, bicep curls. We did tricep extensions. Then after that, let's do something for our legs. So let's just go and do for our legs. We could go ahead and do. We could do sumo squats to target our glutes. So sumo squats, just wide stance, dumbbells down here, and sumo squats. And our 4th one is going to be reverse curl. So now our palms are facing behind us and targeting the biceps and curl. So a lot of arms on this one, okay? All right. So bent over rows. Those are next. Let's see. Let me see if I could get a heavier weight. This 32-pound kettlebell I need to be using. All right. So again, 12 to 15 rows. Ready? And begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, And ooh, I'm good with 12. You have two variations of dumbbell curls. We'll start in about 10 seconds. So just bicep dumbbell curls. There you go, Jen. Stretch my calves out. Alrighty. Okay, so dumbbell curls. Again, 12 to 15. Palms are facing forward and just curl. 1. Sure you're breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Oof. Okay, sumo squats are next. So remember, just wide stance, dumbbells at your hands, extend it down, and you just drop down and up. Just feel that on your glutes and your hamstrings. Oof. Yeah, I think we're gonna do like, I think the last time we celebrated his birthday was when he turned 2, 1 and 2, and then we're gonna do the next big one when he turns 5. So, all right, here we go. Wide stance and drop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and go for 12, 11, and 12. Whew. And then reverse bicep curls. So that's this one's your palms are facing behind you. And you're gonna feel that more on your forearms and your triceps. The one thing with these is you're gonna have a tendency to want to rotate your wrist out. Try to really keep your wrist forward on these, because just naturally your wrists are gonna want to come out. Okay, so just try to keep them forward. That's gonna engage your forearm a little bit more. And with these, I also, when instead of holding the dumbbell like this, with my thumbs wrapped around, I usually go, if I find it easier if I put my thumbs on the same side as my fingers. Instead of having them here, I put them here. It just helps with the wrist rotation. Okay, here we go. So give me about 10 to 12 up. Again, just keep them forward. We don't want to rotate the wrist out. Oh, wow. Very good. All right, let's rest for about 90 seconds. We'll start back up. All right, so. Oh man, sorry, Julian's about to interrupt my class. Ah, dude, come in. Go say hi. So, there he is. This is my son, for some of you that haven't met him. Say hi.
Hello. Hi, Julia.
Hi,
What's your name?
Julian. Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Tomorrow,
Happy birthday.
but the teacher is gonna come on my birthday.
Yeah, big boy.
Yes. Which
Good,
day
huh?
is birthday? Today
It's on
or
on
Friday?
Friday.
That's a
Friday.
good project.
But yeah,
Happy
but
birthday to you. Did you do that? Is that done?
That's amazing.
Every time I do this, I go to Legoland and I buy it this. Oh, that's
Wonderful.
I love Legos.
Linda. Wow. You are going to be an architect. Very good.
you know, don't take it apart.
It's just fixing it. It's just broke.
I did a toucan bird yesterday with him, and within after building it for 20 minutes, it was gone. So, bye. Go see it.
See you later. Don't eat too much cake on your birthday.
Have a good day.
Hi, Julian. Happy birthday.
Bye, Julian.
See you.
All right, come on.
See you around.
Okay, one side.
He's wanna be with us.
One side. I was trying to rush over here to not give you guys too much rest. And then he said, "No, I have to show them my Legos." And yeah, so he is helping, yeah, trying to give the class more rest.
He knows our feeling.
Yeah. All right, so this next one, we're gonna be on the floor. So let's go ahead and grab our yoga mat, or at least set it up. Okay, so we'll start up standing up. And then we'll transition on the floor after that. Okay. And what I mean we're going to be standing up is we're going to start off with the hand walkout first. So a hand walkout, it's a variation of the burpee. So it's a little bit more challenging, but from here, what you're going to do is just come down into your hands if you can, crawl into a hand plank, and then come back up and just stand. Okay, so no jumping, no nothing aggressive. It's just using your hands for upper body strength. And that's what the hand walkout is. Okay, so we're gonna aim for 6 to 8 of these. Ready? And begin. So again, just come down, crawl into a push-up, and then come back up. Or a hand plank, not a push-up. And then that's 1. 2. 3. 4. So 6 to 8 of these. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Whew. All right, now we could drop down to the floor. Okay. We'll be at the floor now. Whew. Okay. So from here, next we're gonna do some sliding sit-ups. Let me fix this camera. You can barely see me. So sliding sit-ups, which I'll demonstrate. Pretty much just gonna be sit-up position, hands on your lap, slide your hands towards your knees. Okay. So that's our next one. We're gonna go for 45 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just slide your hands towards your knees. Let's keep it moving. We're about halfway there. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oof. All right, we are gonna do our Jane Fonda's or leg lifts here. So we're just gonna rotate on our side and lift that top leg 15 times. All right, if you're ready, let's go ahead and begin. So just up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm gonna go for 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Go ahead and switch. The other side now. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whew, man, legs are going to be a little sore. All right, and to finish off this set, we're going to go with push-ups. Okay, so you could do knee-assisted push-ups or regular push-ups, okay? And anywhere, it could range. So you could start off with regular push-ups and transition to knee-assisted. And anywhere between 8 to 15, I'd be okay with. But really try to push yourself. Doesn't hurt yourself, okay? All right, if we're ready, all right, and go at your own count, at your own pace. Okay, ready, and begin. Very good. Right. Rest up. We're gonna be doing our next set on the floor as well. Okay. So you could just hang out here, grab some water. So we'll do one more set and then we'll start back with our initial set. And then we'll just do as many as you folks would like. Yeah. All right. So this next set, we have donkey kicks. Okay, so targeting our glutes. We're gonna be on our fours. Heel comes up towards the ceiling. Depth of that angle. Go this way. Again, so heel towards the ceiling. 12 of those on each side. Okay. After that, we have our Superman's. Superman's belly down, hands up, knees up. And you're just gonna hold that static hold there for about maybe 40 seconds. Okay. Then we'll do a little bit of core, and then we'll incorporate a little bit more hips with some fire hydrants in there. Okay. So, all right, donkey kicks. Like I said, 10 to 15 on each leg. Ready? We're here. And begin. So heel towards the ceiling. Not back, it's up. Okay. Then we go with 12, and then I'm going to switch. I'm switching. 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good job. Superman's are next. So for Superman's, your belly down, okay, and your chest, arms come up, and then knees and your feet come up. Okay, this is going to be for about a 30 to 40-second hold. Okay, we'll start in 12 seconds. Just catch your breath. And 3, 2, 1, up. The chest up, knees up. 15 seconds in. 25. We're at 30. Just keep holding it. 35. And 40. All right. Very good. All right, from here, we're gonna just rotate and flip it onto our backs. Get into a sit-up position. Just going to check the chat. Let me see. So sit-up position. And we're gonna do our glute bridges. So hands at your side. And then bring your hips up and then back down. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Up, so squeeze. And then back down. Up, squeeze. Down. Up. Down, that's 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, very good. All right, and our last one for this floor set is gonna be our fire hydrant. So this one, we're still in the quadruped position, but your legs come off to the side. So you're just lifting that knee up and down this way, okay? Ooh, catch your breath a little bit first. So. Have about another 10 seconds of recovery. All right. So ready and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. All righty. So we're gonna go back to that first set, but we're gonna do some minor changes. Okay, so we'll change some of the movements slightly, but we're still gonna incorporate, the cardio and all that stuff. So, all right. So yeah, just recover. We still have, what time is it? It's 9:55. So maybe we could do 2 rounds. So again, our next set, we're gonna go with curtain closers. So just turn, punch, pull. Okay, so just this motion right here and a little bit of cardio. Instead of our butt kickers, we're gonna go with regular jumping jacks. Okay, regular jumping jacks. Okay, lunge. We did our static lunges already. Instead of that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go here, squat, lift. Okay, it's kind of odd, but it's giving us the sumo squat and some lateral raise as well. That's going to be our next one. And then after that, we're going to go and do some calf raises. Okay. And then we'll finish off with the last set, just some upper body dumbbells. We'll do some shoulder press, some tricep work. But yeah, this will be our last cardio set. All right. So curtain closers. Remember, we're here, punch, and pull. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Up here. Just keep going. Twist your body. Just turn it. Got 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. Hold. All right, instead of butt kickers, we're doing jumping jacks or bunny hops. So I'm fine with either ones. So you could go jumping jacks or you could go bunny hops. Okay, so I'm actually gonna do calf raises. So just lighter variation of the bunny hops just because my cats don't really like those bunny hops. They think they irritate them sometimes, but I have some movements that just my body doesn't like. So, all right, we're gonna go 30 seconds of those. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. So 30 seconds of jumping jacks or bunny hops. I'm doing calf raises. Okay, those are 30 seconds there. Okay, very good. Now we just have our sumo squat to lateral leg lift. So that's just here, the lift. And this is going to be a total of 12. So 6 and 6 on each side. Okay. Right. We're ready. 3, 2, 1. Go. So squat, squat. This looks pretty funny. I'm just watching myself on the screen and feel like I'm ready to do some sumo wrestling. 6 and 6. All right. Good work. All right, the rest of the stuff we're gonna be doing dumbbells. So just grab those dumbbells. Okay. You're gonna start off with shoulder presses. So you could use a chair for these too, if you like. There's really no benefit from standing with these. It could help with your core a little bit, but right now we're just focusing on our shoulders. Okay. I'm already at 280 calories. Not bad, folks. Pretty good for a session right now. Oof. Do you have any questions? Before we head out, we have one more set. Oh. All right, let's go ahead. Heart rate's been close to 100 this whole time. So we're here and press. 1. So 12 to 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oof. Good work. 15. Good boys. Let's go ahead. We're gonna do some seated calf raises. You're just gonna place the dumbbells right above your knees, not directly on the knee, but just on the thigh part, so your lower quad. And we're gonna do 20 of these. Okay, so just heel raises, and I have them vertically, the dumbbells vertically, because if they're just laying on my lap closer to my hips, most of that weight is distributed and isn't lifted. I'm doing this movement, so by holding them like this, you'll get the most out of it. Count. 3, 2, 1. How are we feeling? How's everyone doing?
Great.
Doing well.
Thank you for the change of the burpees to that other one.
Oh, yeah, I know. I feel bad. I remember, I mean, some of you probably were around with the when burpees was a big thing in this class, and yeah, I mean, now looking back, I'm like, we probably should have had our hand walkouts in before burpees. So let's work on our balance a little bit. So we'll do our single leg chair squats. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start with the regular ones, both feet. Let's do 10 of those. So again, no hands, just come up, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Give yourself a little bit of rest, and then we're gonna go single leg now. Okay, so remember, single leg, you could go, if we're being active with our right leg, that means our left leg is extended or just brought in or completely elevated. So whatever you like, just try to challenge yourself. If those that we just did weren't hard enough, then you might just want to consider doing the same set, or you could just slightly move that left foot slightly forward. Okay, ready? And begin. So just hit 300 calories. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take about 20 seconds, and we're gonna switch, and that will be our last movement of the day. Ooh, good job, everyone. Right, let's switch. So right leg elevated or extended. Ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and good. Awesome. Good job. Let's go ahead and just stretch from our chair right now. Ooh, hopefully everyone got a good workout. 300 calories. Been a minute. Let's go. Sit on that left hand, bring that right hand over. Drop that elbow. So yeah, so 300 calories, about the same equivalent of burning the same amount for like a 3-mile walk. Let's switch. Not bad. Let's go ahead and both hands behind our head, elbows drop forward. Relax. Right. Knees facing forward, just gentle trunk rotation to your right. Use your chair for assistance. Go ahead and switch. And then let's go with the piriformis stretch. So right ankle on that left knee. Oof. Yeah, we went to the Monster Jam, so the monster truck show. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. The most exciting parts, unfortunately, were when the trucks would tip over or lose the tire, and because they lost the tire, they had a new way to move the truck. Let's bring that knee up, and therefore they were able to do pretty unique tricks. And but it's sad afterwards because the truck is, pretty beat up or destroyed. Um, but yeah, but it was pretty entertaining. It was about 2.5 hours, no, about 2 hours long, maybe about 2 hours and 20 minutes. But yeah, Julian was kind of over it after like the first 45 minutes or so. Um, yeah. And of course, everything was expensive. So we just got him one, we got him a $22 cotton candy thing. So it was either that or a $25 Slurpee. So it's just everything. I was like, you can't wait till we go to 7-Eleven, have a $1.50 Slurpee. Let's push down gently. But yeah, that was a good time. Let's bring that knee up. Alrighty, 315 calories for the session. I'll take it. How are we feeling?
275 here.
275. Come on,
Almost close
Carmen.
to
You,
two.
you took a 10-minute nap somewhere in there, huh?
No.
I'm just kidding. Good work.
Yeah,
Good job, everyone.
Julia, I send a message in the chat for you.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you. Got it. Okay,
Thank
I'll get
you.
that
See you on
information.
Wednesday.
Okay, everyone. Yeah. So, again, if you got that email from me last night, I accidentally sent a video reminder email to the future class that starts in 3 weeks. So someone responded saying like, "Hey, where's this class at? I don't see it." And then I realized I sent it to the wrong class. So yeah, so there's some confusion, but yeah, so hopefully it didn't affect anyone. But yeah, other than that, I'll see everyone Wednesday.
No, Wednesday.
Okay. All right, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Julia, you can check and send me.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay.
¿Los cuáles dices?
La puse así a ver.